Sup everyone, I'm Nick.
And I'm Tom.
And this is Purpose and Protein. Yay! So excited.
Whose purpose?
I'm definitely purpose.
Okay, I'm protein.
And this is purpose. And this is protein. Clearly, surely.
Until we get then we'll be fighting his protein. This is purpose and your steroids now.
Nah. Too far.
So what made you pick the name?
What made me pick purpose and protein was because I'm here for podcasts. I love podcasts. But I know who I am as a person and I know what the gym does for me. And so coming up with the name, I knew it had to be very intentional for what we were doing. So one thing we're big on in our home is being very purposeful. And then protein is a must. So protein is a must for our daily nutrition, our lives. We don't really function without the protein.
Agree.
But we don't also function without the purpose. And so we bring that not just from our home, but it's a part of our gym as well. So that's our gym culture that we carry, I think, purpose and protein.
That's fantastic. And what about Tom? What's Tom's purpose in life?
Okay, so I believe when one of us does something, it's strong. It could be very strong, but when we do it together, it can even be more powerful. So I believe something like this requires us to do it together for the outcome to be powerful.
So is your goal to motivate youngsters into exercising or something like that?
100%. Absolutely. And I think because we're parents as well, we have children. And I think we had children at a very, I wouldn't say too young, but we were young.
I was young.
He was younger.
Tom saying I was
He was a little bit younger, but we definitely had children.
How old were you?
How old was I? I was 21 when I was pregnant, which I think is young. And I think at that age, you're kind of still figuring out life. Like you think you've got life figured out, but you actually don't. And so I think because we had children young, we've not just only grown up with the kids as well. So
Yeah. I suppose they grow up to be like your friends rather than like your parenting them.
no way. My kids are definitely not my friends, but I love to hang out with them. I love to hang out with them,
I like that.
but they're definitely not my
What
friends.
about Tom? How's Tom's?
Yes, I actually need more friends, so I do see my kids as friends.
Yeah.
And I was 19.
Being a dad and also, like how does fatherhood look like to you?
I think fatherhood is the next level. It's definitely the next level, but whether you become a father early or late, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter, because that next level you actually have to switch on. Whether you're young or old. So I'm happy that we had to switch on young, because then my kids can actually be my friends.
He's a
As
yes
we're gonna-
dad.
Yeah.
He's very much a yes dad. So, yeah. In our house, what dad says goes. Even if I've already said no, they'll skip the process. They
That's
skip
true.
the process and they go to dad, and dad says yes. Even if I've already said no, he wouldn't know if I've said yes or no. But they go to him knowing that they're going to go to him and he's going to say yes. So he's very much a yes dad. A day in my life. Well, let's go back to where I'm from. So I was born and raised in South Auckland, New Zealand. My mum was a single parent most of our lives. I grew up with my two brothers, and I have a sister as well. She grew up with her mum. Families are kind of like that back then. And then I moved. I moved to Australia. I met Tom before I moved to Australia, but then I moved to Australia anyway. And then I became pregnant quite fast and then changed my life. She actually changed my life. Do you know what's funny? It's her birthday soon. So she's turning 13.
So what's the name?
Liella. Her name's Liella. She's turning 13. And her birthday is so significant because she actually changed my life. Like, if you knew who I was
Before you-
prior to parenthood,
But isn't that like I was the same, like, you know, carefree and doing all the dumb shit. But
Yeah.
then once you have kids, it completely transforms you, and then you don't want them to do this shit that you did.
but I feel like it doesn't completely transform everybody.
Okay.
Because I think you can still have children, but are you parenting your children? And that's where I think, like, no, if you were to talk to people who knew me back in high school, which is funny because there are some people in this gym who knew me from back then, and then they see me now, two different worlds. Because I could have gone down a path that would have led me to disaster.
Did you wanna talk about that path a little bit without if
Not
you're
really.
comfortable talking about? I mean, not going into so much detail, but I guess it's like really inspirational for people who want to get into fitness in spite of having, you know, gone through so much difficulties in their life.
Yeah.
So,
Oh no, I think it's just where we're raised. So where we come from, and this is not for everybody, but unfortunately for me, I was just very submersed in the environment that I was part of. And that was typically out running amok, you know, just had no care for anything or anyone except for myself, really. And the people I hung out with, it just wasn't going to take me anywhere with purpose. It wasn't until I became a mum that I understood that life had meaning, like she had meaning. I don't want to talk about her. She's going to make me cry.
do you
But-
think that she was the purpose in your transformation? Like,
She was definitely the start.
the start of the process.
She was definitely the start of a different life. And it's not just parenting. Like, of course you're going to have children and they're going to change you. You become one person with one hat, and then you have a child and now you're a parent and you're a mum. So yes, she transformed my life in that way, but she went above and beyond, because without her, I wouldn't have been introduced to God.
and
And that's where my starting point
Your
is.
strength
That's where purpose began for me, was my introduction to God personally. And that started because of her. So
and then how does fitness come into place?
fitness came in quite late. So I think Tom was training before me.
Yeah.
I always wanted to train. We used to live in Cairns, and when we were living in Cairns, we had our two daughters, and they were very young, very like 3, 4, not even that, 2, 3.
Yeah.
2, 3. When we moved to Cairns, they were like 1 and 3 months old, so they were very young. So I wasn't able or had the time to go and train, even if I wanted to. And when we did start training, we were literally going across to the park and we were training things like running laps and then doing lunges or push-ups or star jumps. Like, literally, that's how my training started, because I didn't have a gym membership. He had a gym membership and he had been gymming, so gymming was just a part of him, but I didn't have that option to go and get a gym membership. So I literally had to find the time between parenting my two kids under 2 at the time, which meant I had to go to the park. I had to go to the park and make it up as I went, which was fun, you know,
That's so
because
inspirational. Like I feel like if you were to look for an excuse not to do it, you will find an excuse if you want. If you don't look for an excuse, I guess you can move mountains if you know, if that saying is true, you know what I mean?
yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
I don't.
And
Well,
obviously-
we grew up sporty. Like, I was good at sport. I played sport. We were good at it, but the fitness sides of things, the health sides of things, didn't start until I became a parent. Because when you're growing up in New Zealand, like, sport is like your outlet. So you go and you play all these sports and you're good at it, but you don't know anything about health. Like, you know, I didn't know anything about health or like nutrition and how it can fuel your body. It wasn't until I became a parent and then I was training like intentionally on purpose. Whereas as a kid, you're just thrown into it. Like, it's the easiest thing to do to
school
keep you busy. Yeah, like, and to get out of class. I would join all the sports teams to get out of class. Like, if there's a day where I don't have to be at school and I'm going to go play a sport, that's a win for me. I would rather be out there running amok than being in the classroom bored or disrupting others. So,
and do you think like your purpose is completed yet, or you're still in the journey of finding your purpose?
definitely not completed. Probably, I would say at the beginning.
Yeah.
I think we haven't even touched the surface of what's in store for us, like as individuals, but also as a couple,
Yeah.
when we haven't even touched the surface. So it's exciting. At the same time, it's also like, what are we stepping into? Like, we don't have control of what we're stepping into. You have to kind of just trust the process.
Do you feel like a lot of insecurities come in the way when it comes to, especially with people in fitness, especially with women?
That's a good question. I think it can be,
Yeah.
but I also think you can do it. So I feel like it really depends on your home life, because if you're a single mum, where are you going to find the time? What gym are you going to need to go to? Because then you have children that you have to think about. So how are you going to find the time? Who's at home to look after the kids if you are going to go? I think it really depends on what happens at home that sets you up for coming back into the gym.
It's like you need the support from your partner.
Well, you need support. I think mums especially, they need the support. They need the encouragement as well, because say you're not a couple who loves fitness, and say only one of us loves fitness, and it's me, and my husband would rather stay home and, I don't know, watch TV because that's his joy. Why would he think, oh, let me encourage my wife to go to the gym? He doesn't care for it. He doesn't understand the benefits of it. So I think it really depends on the person and their situation. I've got a friend who had a baby, and then 5 weeks later she was like, can I come and gym? And she is just smashing her goals. But again, she has a beautiful support system, and I think that helps her as well, because, and then she's got friends who gyms. So when her friends gym, it's also like accountability, a little bit of motivation to keep going daily, showing up. So I think there's a lot of factors when you talk about women having babies and then them getting back into the gym. Like that's something you can go in different directions with that topic. But I really, a lot of it just stems from home first. What happens at home, and I think this is just in life, what happens at home is usually a reflection of everywhere else you go, whatever space you enter. And I'm just thankful and I'm blessed that this is a road we could both go down. Yeah.
And what about Tom? Tom's been the off-focus guest or co-host for the podcast. So he's going to be in focus now.
I was wondering
Thank
when you were going to
goodness,
ask me a
'cause,
question,
oh my
mate.
gosh, mate, the pressure I was feeling, I didn't know we were going to get into it like that. Like,
But coming to Tom, I mean, obviously your background is the same as
Yes. Okay, because when you're born and raised in New Zealand, I knew I was Samoan, right? You're right, because I'm Samoan. So that's what we represent. Well, we represent that we're Samoan.
Is there a lot of difference though, like in between, like?
Nah, there's not a lot of difference, or similar.
Similar.
Sometimes we act like there's a lot of differences, but
Yeah,
similar.
similar.
But like I was saying, when you grow up in New Zealand, because there's a lot of cultures and stuff, we represent that. So because I'm Samoan, I would represent I'm Samoan. Being in Australia, on the other hand, mate, it's a New Zealand passport.
Yeah.
So I'm Kiwi. Like our passport says I'm from New Zealand. We're not born in Samoa.
Yeah.
We were born and raised in New Zealand. So that's what you got to keep in hand, that actually you're Kiwi as well, bro.
But
you know what I mean? But
when there's a rugby league game on,
that's
like
what
last weekend, my guy over here is 6'8" to the world, and I'm the only Kiwi left in the house.
very similar with the sport side of things. Sport will always be our outlet, and nutrition will have no idea what it is, mate.
Yeah.
And literally no idea until you reach a certain level in your sporting, whatever sporting you choose, and then the nutrition comes with that. But nutrition as a whole, of knowing what's right to eat and what's wrong to eat, we would eat more comfort, what comforts us. Even though we know that's wrong, that's what comforts us. We'll eat more of that stuff.
So did you come from? Would you consider yourself coming from a wealthy background, or like a very middle class or a lower middle class background? Like what would you?
I would say lower class, but I never thought I was lower class though.
Yeah.
The money wasn't there, obviously,
Yeah.
but my standards, the way I walked, it was very high.
How was you growing up? Like, is there like has there been tough times when it comes to like money or like parents or like community, anything that you grew up with that actually changed you as a man?
Yes. Yes, I believe having no father figure around was a big thing. And that being a father now, that was one thing I didn't want to do for my kids, was not be present. So growing up, I didn't have a proper father figure or even a proper role model around me constantly. So it was easier to say stray out of different ways and stuff. But right now, me being the father I am now, that was one thing I didn't want to do for my kids. So even if my kids even think about going left or right, I'm always going to be in front of them.
Yeah. And are you overcompensating for what your father or you never had? Could that be a problem?
Ooh.
Because I feel that's a problem with me.
I do, but then that's what brings me back to God. Because I had no proper father figure around, I only knew God after that. So
what's a better role model
than God itself? Yes. So that's who I had to lean on when I was when I became a father, because I had no role models like that. So I had to just look for.
And so when you moved to Australia, how was your life like?
Ooh.
Very different.
Whoa. You're really exposing us today, mate.
Yeah.
I don't know how comfortable I am with this.
Like it?
I didn't come here thinking we're going this deep already.
It has to be.
Almost made me cry twice.
Think about it, like there's gonna be like so many people listening to this thinking, shit, my life seems like it's like falling apart. But they look at these two who are not saying that their life's perfect, but they're so happy. And though happiness is subjective, but you're still, smiling.
Still trying. Hard, obviously. Any big move is hard. For me specifically, everything was moving too fast for me. So moving too fast with different new environment. Becoming a father was new as well, so it all happened so fast. Working, because I wasn't really working in New Zealand, so even adding work into... Yes, I moved pretty young, so I think I've only had 2 jobs in New Zealand, but I was already 19, turning 20. Yeah, so having just 2 jobs, and I had no references. It was actually not having a license, because in New Zealand, having no license is normal, bro. You can be 30, you can be almost 40 and still be on your learners, bro.
Learners means legitimate in New Zealand.
Yeah.
It means you got your learners, go get you a car, go start driving. Yes, there's consequences, but not enough to stop you from driving.
You grew up without a license.
You got without a license.
Over here, you have to give your
Over here, they ask you that in all interviews that I went to get a job, it was, do you have your license? And me saying no was a big cross for my thing. So I didn't notice that until I actually called someone back and I said, hey, look, I thought I'd done well in the interview. How come I didn't get the job? And the first thing he said to me was, you're the guy with no license, eh? Bro, and I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's what happened there, bro.
You had to learn the things that you technically knew, but then entering a new country is like cultural shock.
Yes, culture shock. It was definitely a culture shock for me, and an environment shock, and what was expected of me to even just get a job. I needed this. Just to even, actually, like, it just wasn't normal for me moving to Australia, thinking that I could bring everything I knew in New Zealand and be great in Australia. It was just learning all over again. Yeah.
If you were to say one thing to your 18-year-old self, what would that be?
Bro, get a license. Get your license, man. And I didn't even know how old you have to be to get a license these days, but any kid.
That is so surprising. Yeah. Sorry, I'm interrupting. But like, I generally, when I ask these questions to people, their first instinct is, I would tell my 18-year-old to, don't worry, things will fall in place.
Nah.
Or, I tell my 18-year-old that, you know what, it's gonna be fine. But ask Tom what we ask
Very
him,
practical.
Like, get your fucking
Yeah.
I'm literally serious, bro. You need to get your license, bro. Like, you need to get your license. Yeah.
But
That's
I
probably
think what he was trying to say earlier in terms of his walk with God is that he actually carries the Father's heart, which is very rare. It's very rare for men to carry a Father's heart. And when we say that, we mean in a godly way, where love is so powerful, but a father's love is so powerful because his love for our kids is completely different from mine. They have a sparkle in their eye that's reserved just for him.
If you were to look at yourself now and how how your life is now, would you say that you are almost in the direction that you're in?
That's crazy.
You want to be?
Yeah, that's crazy because I feel like I've learned so much. Obviously, we can learn more, but I feel like you've learned so much. Everything you do now, bro, is to teach others.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Like, you can't keep learning and not give back, bro. You know, and we can sit on the fence for ages and be like, nah, I'm still learning because I don't get it yet, and be 40, and then, you know what I mean, and keep saying that. But, bro, the life that I lived, speaking for myself, the life that I lived, I feel like I've actually been through a lot that I can actually teach now, you know, so hence why we're doing this podcast. And
Do you think all the traumas and all the negatives that you felt in your life, there was a purpose for it?
yes, definitely, and I don't look back and want to change anything as well. Maybe their license bit, probably it would have made it easier, but there's a lot that we can teach now, and I feel like this is our time to teach.
That is very interesting. See, that's the Tom I never knew when I came to the gym. But look, it was fantastic first episode of this year. What is the purpose of this podcast? What will tell your viewers what's going to happen with the plan for this podcast? Are you going to guess?
Well, I'm so excited that ours is done because, geez Louise, not many people know a lot about Tom and I here in Perth anyway, and we try to kind of keep that for a time and a place. So this podcast is very exciting. We are actually going to talk to members from the gym. They are going to be our focus, so they're going to be our guests. We have some exciting people lined up as well, who we think are going to be great voices on the podcast.
Yep.
They are going to bring something that may also be relatable, but then also you never knew that about that person. Like, you would never know until you truly talk to somebody. So that's what we're bringing to the podcast.
Yeah, so if you watch this episode, don't be afraid if we text you, because not because we actually want you on here, it's because you do actually carry something that is useful for our community, and it actually might help you as well. Just being on here talking about it might actually help you as well. So tune in, wait for our text. We'll be sending it out soon. And let's get it, eh?
If someone wants to connect with you or is wanting to be a part of the podcast as a guest, where can they find you?
You can DM us on our social platforms, Plus Fitness 24/7 by Fit, and that's TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
Thank you. Thank
Jeez,
you.
That was
Thank
scary.
you, Nathaniel.
Yes, yes we can. Thanks, Nate.
That was actually his voice.